Hi, good afternoon, Shirika. How are you
Good
today?
afternoon. I am fine. How are you?
Very good. So I wanted to start off by saying that you were personally recommended to me by a colleague that I have worked with before. She just spoke extremely highly of you, so I'm glad we were able to finally connect.
Yeah, thank you.
You're so welcome. All right. So we were talking a little bit about your last position. You worked in leasing.
Mhm.
But the position that I want to talk about first is your position that you had during COVID. So tell me a little bit about that job. So who you worked for and what you did.
So Concentrics, my job title was technical advisor. So I was responsible for receiving inbounds, making outbounds calls as well, just to follow ups. I used to isolate the issues just to so I Apple, it's a big company. You would have the Macs, the iPhones, the iPad, and I specialize in both the Mac section and the iPad iPhone section. So it was a lot of isolating account issues, Apple Pay, broken items, physical damage, insurance. So it was a lot on my plate, and in that call center environment, the calls were back to back, no break. So I do handle those things well, and I know how to compose myself at all times and continue to stay patient and respectful.
Sure, absolutely. So when you were getting those calls, let's say if I was calling you because my phone stopped working, did
Mhm.
you have like a screen that you were like you type in what the issue is and then it
Yes,
helps you work with the
we
resolution?
had a customer relation management software, so we would
Okay.
type in notes. We'd have to log the issue in detail, and you'd
Mhm.
also have to log the troubleshooting steps that you took on behalf of that. We will also have the resources that was needed within the company, such as a, it's a company thesaurus where you go there, find everything you need, type in a few keywords, and then you get an article that would help you support that customer to resolve their issues.
Okay, great. I feel like that's important because that does, show that you're able to be resourceful.
Yes.
Something that's super important in most roles would be, being able to find the answer. So you were given the tools to be
Mhm.
able to find those answers. Now, what if you weren't able to rectify the situation? If somebody was a little bit upset, walk me through what that looks like. What do they do to try and de-escalate a situation?
So one, active listening is very important. You would always want to listen and try not to interrupt. Just because you don't want to miss out on any important facts the customer may have or any misunderstandings that either of you may have. So you try to listen to better understand, get a grasp on everything to try to clarify and thoroughly explain or go through troubleshooting steps to isolate that issue and find a resolution. So even if a resolution is not today, we do get an answer, and sometimes it do take time. And that's that's the issue that most angry customers get. They have a problem that takes time resolving, and you just have to thoroughly explain that, follow up, and you just want to be have that effective communication at all times.
Okay, great. And then how do you best learn? So like when you started the position, I know that you were telling me it was in COVID, so you go and meet someone in person. Um, like how do you learn best, like in training?
So training, they kind of force you to do everything, but I am that learner as well. So they make you watch. So I'm a visual learner and I'm a doer learner. I have to try it out as well. So even if I'm simultaneous, even if I'm doing it all together. So if I'm watching a video while doing it, it helps me get through it. And I'm a very fast learner. I'm very adaptive and coachable.
Okay, great. That's great to hear. And then when you were having to communicate like
Mhm.
technical information with someone who's not technical?
Okay.
Is there like, how do you do that? I mean, like if I had my phone and I didn't know what to
I
do, and like tell me about that. Or if I was trying to show maybe someone in my family who, originally didn't use cell phone,
So
how to
one,
do something.
I have a grandma
Yeah.
that basically needs help almost every time when it comes to navigating an iPhone. So, one, you do have a resourceful feature, which is screen sharing.
Okay.
And they also, so I would guide her to the steps so I'm very patient. So I take time, I try to thoroughly explain. I'm very detail oriented, so I will provide detailed instructions just to avoid any confusion. You don't want to make the process long. You want to shorten it as much as possible. And I will go ahead, break it down as best as I can. So regardless, as much time as it takes, I will do. But of course, if we're on a time management and I do need further assistance, I will go ahead and contact either tier 2 or supervisors, just because it was policy and protocol.
Okay. Did you ever have to calculate any fees, like for replacements?
Yes. The computer kind of did that for us.
Okay.
But when it came to the leasing agent role, I did have to calculate for parts, etc. Of course, I have the right utensils.
Okay, to do that.
Mhm.
We've gone over, you've got your, definitely great oral and written communication based on that particular position. You've got some decision makings, great skills. Now, you got a little award while you were there, right?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that.
It was a Tenacious Award. I was a few months in, and I was surprised I even got an award, but I got that by just my metrics. So the customer satisfactory. So I was at a good rating, and they just decided to give me that award. And that took time. You can't just get your metrics one time and score perfectly one time and get an award. It took about a year to get that.
Okay. And then that position ended because so then you moved to North Carolina?
So it ended just because family, life happens. And then I was out of work, and then I moved to North Carolina for the job opportunity just to try a different career, but I still wanted to stay within the customer service field. So I tried something new, leasing agent, and they did hire me because I was not successful in getting a job here. So I went over there, I got the job, and I only left there just because of safety purposes. But
safety purposes in the leasing?
Yes, a stranger followed me home and I wasn't safe. My family doesn't live in North Carolina, so I had to come back.
Okay, so you felt that leasing is tough, and I understand the property that you were at. That it happened there at the property.
Yeah, it happened. So they have a few properties, but I never lived on the one I worked at.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you've got overall 5 years experience, customer service. You've got some great relationship management. Definitely the strong computer skills. Let's see here. I think that's about it that I wanted to talk about on that part of the interview, but I do want to talk a little bit more about some of your other experience, but I'm going to stop the recording here, and then we'll keep chatting, so don't hang up.